Back in Generation 8, Cinderace was an absolute menace in competitive singles. It was banned to Ubers quite early on in the generation, due to overwhelming damage output thanks to its ability Libero, wide coverage options, and even the new item Heavy Duty Boots to patch up its rock weakness. In Generation 9, Cinderace is back, and it feels much more reasonable in this metagame. Let's take a look at why Cinderace is more balanced in the Gen 9 OU environment. 80% of you watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy my videos, I'd appreciate it if you would take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Thank you. The most immediately obvious change to Cinderace in Gen 9 that has affected its power is the nerfing of its ability Libero. Libero is effectively the exact same as Protean. Prior to Gen 9, it would transform you into the type of whatever move you used, which gave you 1.5 times stab damage on every single coverage move, with the added utility of new types providing resistances and immunities. In Gen 9, Libero will still change your type to match whatever move you use, but only once. If, for example, Cinderace uses the move Court Change, it now stays normal type no matter what move it uses afterwards. Switching out and back in will reset you back to Fire type and allow you to change your type once more. Despite this significant nerf, Libero and Protean are still great abilities. Cinderace is often used as a hit and run Pokemon. With high speed and heavy duty boots, pivoting into Cinderace will often earn you some momentum, forcing out the enemy and allowing you to pivot with U-turn and respond to whatever they do. U-turn is Cinderace's most important tool. An extremely safe move to use that maintains your momentum and even receives that stab boost from Libero to help you rack up damage. Cinderace has a noteworthy advantage over the other Protean Pokemon as of this new change as well. Greninja has a dual Water-Dark type combination, so when it uses a stab move like Hydro Pump, it will transform into a mono Water type because of Protean. After doing this, it will remain Water type until it switches out, losing its Dark Stab and also losing the Protean effect on a potential coverage move. The nice thing about Cinderace is that because it's a mono Fire type Pokemon, if it uses Pyro Ball, it won't waste the Libero effect since it isn't transforming into Fire type, it's already Fire type. This means that you can use your stab Pyro Ball as much as you want without wasting the Libero effect, and use a coverage move later when you need to. This makes Cinderace a bit more well suited to the new way this ability works compared to its counterparts. Back in Gen 8, Cinderace's wide coverage and its ability to gain stab on every single move made it very difficult to switch into safely, requiring very specific counters that weren't ubiquitous metagame Pokemon. Even if Cinderace had the old Libero in Gen 9, I think it would be much easier to respond to than it was back in Gen 8. For starters, Rotom Wash is one of the most common defensive Pokemon in Gen 9, due to how well it matches up against the common Great Tusk and most physical threats in the format. The most common set on Rotom Wash uses full physical defense investment. It's not impossible for a Cinderace team to wear down Rotom Wash due to its lack of healing, but this very common roadblock against Cinderace is a big reason why Cinderace is not as overwhelming in this metagame. Rotom Wash was usable in Gen 8, but it was not the common metagame staple that it currently is in Gen 9. The addition of new defensive Pokemon that can handle Cinderace, such as Dondozo and Skeledirge, is also worth noting. While Garganacl is vulnerable to Cinderace's low kick or high jump kick in its base typing, the common Terra Water Garganacl will completely wall Cinderace as well. It also has a convenient entry point against Pyro Ball. Garchomp is another Pokemon that now commonly invests in defense. A defensive Garchomp will resist Pyro Ball and shrug off Cinderace's other coverage options solidly, while also dealing significant chip damage to Cinderace with Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet. And while Cinderace does have Zen Headbutt to threaten the most common Pokemon in Gen 9, Great Tusk, this move will only deal a maximum of 43% to a defensively invested Great Tusk, and that's with an adamant nature. While the nerf to Libero definitely plays a part and has affected Cinderace's potency as an offensive threat, Gen 9 OU is also just not a metagame where Cinderace can dominate. There are too many common Pokemon that can respond to Cinderace's tools and answer it reasonably. But that doesn't make Cinderace bad, it makes it balanced. Cinderace is still a very effective offensive pivot in this format that fits very well on teams that aim to keep up momentum and play aggressively. Cinderace has a great speed stat, unique coverage options compared to other offensive pivots, and the crucial U-turn, giving you a great option against all of the defensive answers to Cinderace that I just mentioned. U-turn allows you to respond to their defensive switch with a different threat and keep your offense going. I think Cinderace is a nice presence in the Gen 9 OU metagame. While it was ranked in Ubers in Gen 8, it wasn't a very good limited Pokemon in the Ubers format. It's nice to be able to use this Pokemon in an environment where there are plenty of reasonable answers to it, and it feels well balanced. What do you think of Cinderace? Who is your favorite Protean Pokemon in Gen 9 OU? And what would you like me to talk about next? Let me know down below in the comments, and thank you for watching. Thank you to the patrons. Become a patron to appear on this fun end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon, as well as various other rewards such as video requests.
The money got different, cause of what I'm spending. The money got different,
oh, it's
cause of what I'm
Megaphone!
spending.
Whoa,
The money
KO'd
got
by
different,
one hit! It
cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different.